So the PGA Championship, we have a huge field of potential winners walking into San Francisco. Brokers, Brooks Koepka, brokers, no, that's a different show. Brooks Koepka, and of course, Justin Thomas leading the pack. Now you've guys like Rory and DeChambeau who could easily make a pull for first place, and we'll hear your thoughts on that. And of course, Tour, stalwarts like Tiger, who admittedly hasn't had the best showing at the PGA Championship in the past. But JD, with all of these guys heading into the championship, who actually leaves San Francisco lifting that big 150? Who you got for the tournament winner here? Talk to me, man.
Absolutely. Honest to God truth, we're in major season right now, and golf has been going hot and heavy for the last 2 months, and it's kind of culminated to what is the biggest tournament of 2020 by far. The first major at the PGA, which is normally not the first major, so it's a little unique. But what you're looking at major season is it's Brooks Koepka season, really. Like, that's really what it should be renamed. The guy is just an absolute monster when it comes to competing at the highest stage. U.S. Open champion, yep. PGA champion. He holds both of those currently as we speak right now. So if you're looking at the top of the board, you're going to see JT, who has an interesting little backstory. Both his dad and grandpa were PGA professionals. So this tournament, and he's a PGA champion winner as well, this tournament holds a nice special spot to him particularly. Just won last week, played decent. I honestly got you. He didn't play great, well enough to win a golf tournament, but when you're the best player in the world, which he is, that's all you have to do. You're looking at Rory, who's not playing super well right now. Rahm coming off a big win at the Memorial. And then you have Brooks. And that's basically the top of the market there. For me, I love Brooks Koepka this week. I think Brooks Koepka at plus 1,100, 11-1. Again, when you look at statistical models, they're not going to incorporate what Brooks does at these majors, because what you're going to usually be looking at are how has this guy been performing more recently. So when you look at Brooks's recent form, not too good. Went through a really bad knee injury at the end of last year, has been rehabbing. But here's the thing. What you're looking for when it comes to Koepka is just a glimmer of hope. Like, that's all we're looking for. We need something. And last week he got second at a very difficult tournament at the WGC, had a very similar field to where we're at this week. So that second place finish was behind ball striking expertise, and that is Brooks' bread and butter. If he's striking the ball like he did last week, this week, coupled with his clutch putting, for me, 11 plus 1,100, he should be the favorite in this golf tournament. He's not, so I'm going to take Brooks as the winner.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen obviously plenty of people favoring Koepka on Twitter, but you can't discount Justin Thomas. I mean, he's got to be feeling good after the St. Jude Invitational. So we'll just have to see, obviously, how that affects his game. And JD, you've watched these guys play on all kinds of courses this tour, but I want to talk about the TPC Harding. Now, this is the first time the PGA Championship has come out of this course. So is there anything that we should know about this course in particular? Who do you see having a particularly good or bad day at the Harding?
So, Allie, the awesome thing about Harding Park is it's only about an hour and a half away from me. I was actually able to play this golf course 3 days before it shut down. So I was able to play it in not the conditions that they're seeing now, because this was a good 3 weeks ago. But
of course,
honestly, and I'm a decent golfer. I'm like anywhere from a 3 to a 5 handicap. I can get it around decent enough. The hardest course I've played in the last 3 years, the worst score I've shot in the last 3 years, it was blowing. The fairways are so tiny. I mean, you can't even, you literally, they're 20 yards wide. These guys don't see those kind of fairways on a week-to-week basis on the actual PGA Tour. You're looking at weather in San Francisco. Anyone who's been knows it can't be more bipolar. They're calling for some winds. It's going to be anywhere from 10 to 20 throughout the entire week. You're going to get gusts into the 30s. But most importantly, you're going to get hard greens, hard surfaces, and unbelievably difficult rough. Like, if you are in the rough, you will not get the ball near the flag. Like, that's just how it's going to be. So when you're looking at guys at Harding Park especially, you're going to want to hit it in the fairway. But here's the thing, that's not good enough. You also need to hit it long, because it's a par 72. It's a par 70, 7,200 yards, okay? But it plays every ounce of that, because you're looking at sea level San Francisco weather. The ball does not travel I was listening to Tiger press conference earlier this week, and they have these things called TrackMan, where they have all the launch angles, spin, the ball speed, everything. And these guys aren't getting any distance off their shot. So we're going from playing in the Midwest and Southern courses where it's a 90 degrees, the ball's jumping to 60 degrees, and the ball's going absolutely nowhere. It's going to play every inch. So what I'm looking for are guys, and who I'm looking to back and who I'm looking to fade are going to be guys who can get the ball in play, who are long enough to have irons in. And ultimately, the interesting thing about this golf course is once you're on the greens, not real challenging. Not a lot of undulations, really straightforward. I'm a really bad putter, to be honest with you. And I had no problems navigating these greens. Like, they were pretty simple. So, and then the last caveat is you have a lot of dogleg rights to dogleg lefts. So what that means is off the tee, you have to hit a draw. So when I'm looking at guys who to be successful and guys to not be successful, my first guy is Webb Simpson. He has 2 wins already on tour this year, and you're able to get him at a top 5 bet around plus 550. He hits a huge rope draw off the tee. This thing is right to left. It's moving, and he's super accurate with it. So he should be in play. A former major winner. He won the U.S. Open a couple years back, right across the street from this golf course at Olympic Club, mind you. So he's familiar with the area. Love Webb, and looking for a fade. Jordan Spieth will not make the cut. You can get that anywhere from plus 180 to plus 220. The guy has showed a little bit with his irons last week at the WGC event, but still lost strokes off the tee because he sprays it. The dude couldn't hit a cornfield with his driver, okay? And if you're doing that at Harding Park, you have absolutely no chance to score. So I love that as another bet and a course unfit for Spieth.
All right, so we're going with Webb. I mean, yeah, Jordan Spieth hasn't had a strong last leg of the tour. I mean, the guy hasn't seen the top 10 on a sheet since June. So, I think I also like the Webb pick. I mean, he's won his fair share of this tour. He's wound up in the top 5 or 3 and on quite a few tournaments this year. And not to mention, we've seen guys like Rory do very well on the Harding in the past. So he took the WGC Cadillac match back in 2015. So if you're a Rory fan, you got to hope the course cooperates with him once again, since obviously now we have more insight on the difficulty that is this course. But JD, I'm sick of talking about all the other boys at the top of the card. What is the weird stuff coming out of the championship? Like do you see any absolutely degenerate bets that you like, okay, or is this the kind of tournament that we have to just kind of play it a bit safer? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, the beautiful thing about betting golf is there are plenty of degen bets to make. One that I particularly like, and this is something that I analyze every single week because it's fun and people like it. Is there an actual angle to this? I mean, really, I don't know. I can't model it. So, it is absolutely degen central, which, hey, I'm all about that. Let's be honest here. Hole in one, yes or no, is a fun bet to make, okay? So when you're looking at it, you want to obviously analyze the par 3s. That's where the hole in one is going to come from. And in particular, number 8 here is basically impossible. It's going to be played as one of the hardest holes on the golf course. It's a 230-yard par 3. I hit a full 3-wood into that sucker, and they're playing it 40 yards back. So no chance at a hole in one on that hole. But when we're coming down the stretch on Sunday, keep an eye on number 17. At this point, my guess is there will already be a hole in one here, so you probably will have seen it by then. It plays as a really short par 3, and if there's no wind, these guys are going to be hitting wedges into this hole. I hit a little knockdown gap wedge into this thing. Made birdie, by the way. That was my only birdie of the day. Thank you very much. But what I will say is this. If you give these guys a wedge in hand, at an easy green, they will take dead aim. It's going to play anywhere from 160 to 170, and it doesn't look like you're going to have mornings where the wind will be cooperating. They're going to be able to absolutely fire at that flag. A hole in one there is going to happen. Plus 130 is the number I found. Do a little shopping. That's my favorite degen bet.